Wasting the court's time is a popular form of misconduct by people trying to delay the inevitable. This entitled guy tries telling the judge he needs to hire a lawyer, even though he hasn't done anything for 3 months since he first said he needed to hire a lawyer. The judge isn't having it anymore, and rightfully shuts down this nonsense.
Back in February, so we got March, April, May, 3 months have gone by. Back in February, you were arraigned in front of the magistrate for this second-degree felony of assault on a peace officer, which also includes 2 prior convictions, 2016 robbery. And you were convicted in the court next door, the 252nd, also in the court next door. After that was final, you committed unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon and were convicted of that in 2019. Thereafter, it is alleged you committed this offense. I'm looking at this affidavit of indigence, and this was you were in front of a magistrate 3 months ago. And do you remember what you told the magistrate? You're going to hire your own lawyer. That's why he didn't appoint. I know you didn't hire him. Who'd you hire? So are you lying to people? 3 months have gone by. You were supposed to hire somebody 3 months.
Yes, sir. I had the first finish paying off my bond, sir.
You don't have a plan in mind about how you're going to do things? You've made a promise to the magistrate that you didn't keep. Thanks for wasting all of our time and the people's time and money. So who are you going to hire now? You've had more than enough time. Who are you going to hire?
I need some more time.
No, you don't. You're not going to get it. We're not waiting on you. We're moving forward. You're an habitual felon. According to this, you're looking at a minimum of 25 years in prison, minimum to life. You know what that's going to cost? Do you?
No, sir.
Who have you talked to in 90 days?
Sir.
Who have you talked to? What attorneys have you talked to? No one. That's why we don't wait on you. We're moving forward. The whole idea is to trick people, mislead, deceive, whether it's a judge or anyone else. Stall, stall, stall. Maybe it'll go away. No. You got our devoted attention. You have got my attention. And that's not what you want. Sit over there. Sit over there. We're going to deal with you and the other people who are taking care of their business. We can take care of them.
Directly after the time waster is a guy who doesn't know how to dress himself appropriately. Wearing a SpongeBob shirt with holes in it isn't acceptable for anything but lounging around at home. I can't believe that someone would walk out of the house like that, let alone into court. It's so disrespectful.
You got to be kidding me, right?
What's that?
That's what you wear?
I didn't have any clean shirts.
You don't have a clean shirt at all? I'm on the Salvation Army board. We got all kind of stuff for people, but you can't wear. I mean, would you wear that to church?
No.
Why not? Disrespectful? Would you say it was disrespectful for church? Well, you don't think court
I do apologize.
you don't think the Constitution is something that deserves respect?
I apologize.
You got to do better than that.
I understand.
There's no excuse in this town. I mean, we're low.
Well, I live in Hampshire, still just.
We take care of people from Hampshire too. We can take care of people.
I do
We can't.
apologize.
Yeah, I don't want to see that again.
Okay. Hope you'll never see me again.
Look, everybody, yeah. You know, if I had $1 every time somebody said that, I hope that's true, but I'd be Donald Trump. If I had $1 for every time people said that. That just seems to be what everybody says, but I see him a few months later in court over and over again. Anyway, and fix this. Have you ever been convicted of a felony before?
Yes.
What?
Child endangerment.
Is that it?
Yes, I believe so.
You don't know?
I'm sure there's one more. I can't remember what.
You
I was
forgot a
convicted
felony
once.
conviction? You forgot?
I was on probation for 5 years in 2010. For child endangerment, child abandonment.
Okay, was that regular probation or deferred?
It was deferred.
Okay, did you get revoked?
No.
Okay, you weren't convicted.
Okay.
You don't know that?
I was assuming I was.
How would? Well, you look into that. I don't think you're convicted if you were on deferred and it was not revoked,
Okay.
sir.
I'll look into that when I get out.
Is there anything else that you can't remember that you coming back to your mind?
That's all I can remember.
All right. I think if you would have had that prior conviction, what county was that?
Jefferson.
It would have showed up on the indictment.
Okay.
And it's not.
Okay.
Well, you don't want to go around filling out job applications saying you were convicted if you want to. You're not gonna get a job.
Yeah,
Huh?
it was.
See, it was deferred and it's been dismissed.
Yeah.
Okay, you're clear,
Okay. Thank
except
you.
for this now.
Yes, sir.
See back over there.
All right. It's a state jail felony, which carries with it up to 2 years in the state jail. All right. Does the defendant who's here with his attorney, Mr. Deucer, waive a formal reading of the indictment and the arraignment here? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes.
In summary, this indictment alleges that on or about February 28, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed a state jail felony of theft, which carries with it, if convicted, confinement in a state jail for any term of not less than 180 days or more than 2 years. In addition, a fine up to $10,000 can be assessed. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's the worst thing ever. It is. Right, well, that's what I know. But there's twenty items. That's not probably the most efficient one time. Anyways, we're making sure that Diane's not.
Seen the block chisel. Cavemen used to use that. That's what they found. Okay. You understand what you're charged with here and
Yes,
the
sir.
punishment range applicable?
Yes, sir.
An agreement has been reached where you would be pleading guilty, placed on deferred again,
Yes, Your Honor.
where Santa has come to see you again.
Yes, sir.
You're placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation, which, well, we saw how well that worked last time, kept him out of trouble. Or
15 years.
it's supposed to be forever. You're not supposed to commit.
I was trying to do something nice for a person.
And well, you owe $1,504 to the complainant. You understand?
What's that mean?
The complainant, the person who was victimized. You owe, that's what the loss is. It states restitution in the amount of $1,504.
Okay.
How soon could you pay that back?
I can pay. I don't have a job right now, but I have a girlfriend and she's helping me out. But I'm going today to try and find a job. Take 6 months.
Because that's going to give you 6 months to pay it back.
Okay.
But don't be bumming off your girlfriend, off your.
Well, I don't. I mean, I do try and find odd jobs.
If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this? Guilty or
Guilty.
not guilty, sir?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily?
Yes.
That is on your own free will
It is.
and because you are guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1.
Can you show me what?
Yeah, right here. I'll read it. This here. Yeah, that thing. That, all of our pads are down except that one. The one we don't ever use, and we don't want to ever use, but we're stuck using it now.
Yes.
You can see why. It's an odd thing.
Terrible of that.
Okay. You've seen State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign it voluntarily, understand it, discuss it with your attorney, or the contents all proved correct?
Yeah.
State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence without objection. Among other things, it states you were mentally competent to enter your plea of
Yes,
guilty.
sir.
It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You've read it. You were guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses. You were giving up your rights to a jury trial and your rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses, totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer.
Yes, sir.
All true, so help you God.
Yes.
States Exhibit 1, part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report is waived.
Yes.
I'm going to follow this agreement. And I'm going to find you pleading guilty today voluntarily. You are mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea. States Exhibit 1 admitted you to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to place you on. You know what it is, deferred or unadjudicated probation. Four. There will be terms and conditions of probation that you need to follow so that you are not revoked and convicted.
Yes, sir.
The first thing, you will pay restitution in the amount of $1,504 to the complainant, the victim. That must be done within 6 months.
Yes, sir.
There will be other terms and conditions of probation which are normal and customary that the probation officer will go over with you in a minute. Make sure you follow those. If you fail, your probation can be revoked.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're you then be found guilty and then sentenced up to 2 years in the state jail.
Thank you. Not for your games.
No, you're going to go over let me sign this. And you're going to go over all of this.
Just how long?
You do well, it can be shortened to a third.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you see that, ladies?